Top 13 games that are going to be at Essen Spiel 2021. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Clayton, and I'm a geeky dad who likes talking about a bunch of geeky topics. And for anyone that doesn't know what Essen Spiel is, it is the biggest board game convention in Europe. And this is a dice. And if you guys can guess what number I'm about to roll, then you get a cookie. Put your guesses down in the comment section. Now let's get right into the video. Starting off this list, I'm going to be mentioning my number 1 first, because if there's any game that you guys are going to pick up, make sure you go check out this game. The game is called Mindbug, and they're only going to have a limited print run at Essen, so I highly recommend you can pick this game up. It was actually co-designed with Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering, but was also designed by 3 other creators before it was brought to him. I was fortunate enough to play this game with one of the designers, Marvin, and I absolutely loved it. It is a 2-player take-that dueling card game with a total of 48 cards, and you actually only end up playing with about 20 cards in the game, 10 for you and 10 for your opponent. So you start off the game with 5 cards in your hand, and you have a 5-card draw deck, and each creature in the game has different abilities. And the goal of the game is to reduce the other person's life points, but you actually only have 3 life points, and this makes it for a really intense game. On your turn, you can only really do 2 things. You can either play a card or attack with a creature. And what's really unique about this game is each player also starts with these 2 mind bug creatures, which if a player plays a card, then you can activate your mind bug. But you only get 2 of them per game, so you have to choose them wisely. And this really determines who's going to win the game. If you play the mind bug at the wrong time, this could cost you the game. It's really intense, really fun, and super easy to play. I highly recommend you go check it out. Also, I'm going to be doing my best to find out the booth number for each one of these games. If any of these games sound interesting to you, make sure to check out the booth numbers in the description box down below. Now we have a game called Gutenberg, a game where players are pioneers of printing in the 15th century. Players are carrying out orders, and they will need to build their wealth and fame. They will do this by improving their printing workshops and gaining the support of the patrons. Players will need to bid for specific actions to develop their workshops, acquiring new fonts, inks, and decorations. The unique system of rotating guilds allows you to combine bonus and earn a large number of points in the game. The game is won by the player with the most points after 6 rounds. Moving on, we have a game called Golem. This is an engine building game that is based in the 16th century. Players are creating and destroying their own golems. The game is divided into 4 rounds, and each round has 7 phases. At the beginning of each round, the players will shuffle the colored marbles that will be split into 5 lines corresponding to the 5 main actions available in the game. The number of marbles available in each corresponding action line determines how much the player gets from the action. The colors of the marble also matters, because at the end of each round, if you get the correct combination of 2 colors, you will receive a favor from one of the powerful characters in the game. At the end of the game, players score points for active golems or destroyed golems, artifacts, books, elements on their personal board, and gold cards collected. If you ever wanted a game to create your own golem, then check this game out. It's going to be available for purchase at Essen, or it's going to be available in retail in November. Arkwright the Card game. The game is played over 3 decades, the 1770s, the 1780s, and the 1790s, split up into 4 rounds per decade. In this game, you run a business and will employ workers in different factories to produce and sell goods. The more workers, the more goods that can be sold. During the game, you will need to open factories and upgrade existing ones, select improvements and improve factory quality, build machines, and employ new workers. You can also pay money to improve your shareholdings and take out loans if you need to require more money for production costs. By the end of the game, players then sell all the goods left in their sharehouses, reduce the number of shares they hold, and reduce their share value based on their personal shipping track. And then the player with the highest end score wins. Is anyone else starting to see a trend between all these games? We have the 15th, 16th, and 17th century. So let's move on to something completely different. Let's move on to the future. Perseverance Castaway Chronicles Episode 1 and 2. Now this will be a demo that you guys have to check out. Pledge Manager is still open, and it is by Mindclash Games. So far, they have reached over $1 million on their newest game on Kickstarter, Voidfall. And in this game, you are discovering a living dinosaur world and trying to survive. The game is for 1 to 4 players and has a high playtime of 80 to 180 minutes. This is a Euro-style dice drafting, dice placement strategy game. This saga will consist of 4 episodes, telling the story of the group of survivors becoming a mighty society on a hostile island filled with dinosaurs. Players are striving to deploy and protect the foothold town of Perseverance by building walls, traps, and settlements, mounting defenses, and partaking in political power struggles and forming communities. Players must also gain followers to establish themselves as leaders. In episode 2, the survivors have successfully defended the city of Perseverance, completing a massive wall to stop the dinosaur onslaught. Now the players will set out and explore the surrounding wilderness to expand their settlement beyond the walls. This episode adds new actions to extend the core mechanisms and allows for deeper customization of your leaders and factions through dozens of unique skills. This game looks crazy, the artwork is amazing, the storyline is out of this world. I know it's a bit heavier of a game, but it's going to be very rewarding to anyone who understands on how to become a leader. Now moving on to something a little bit lighter, we have Living Forest. This is a super cute little game for 2 to 4 players that is for ages 8 and up. Players are playing as nature spirits who are trying to save the forest and its sacred tree by the flames. The animal guardians have come together to lend you a hand in this task. Each turn, these will bring you valuable elements. So try to combine your team of animal guardians as best as you can and carry out your actions. But be careful because some of these guardians are lonely and do not like to be mixed with others. Can you help put out the flames before it's too late? I highly recommend you go check this game out. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for families. Now I have another lightweight family game on the list that's called Run Run Run. This is a 1 to 4 player game that's also for ages 8 and up and has a playtime of 30 minutes. Think of this game as Indiana Jones, but you are playing as cats trying to escape a pyramid. This is a cooperative game. Players must move mummies using the mummy dice. They must decide between 3 actions: explore, fight, or cooperate. Players must exit the pyramid while beating all the mummies in the way, including the boss. Players will lose the game if they run out of room cards or if any mummies have reached the relics. Again, another lightweight family game for you guys to check out. Or check this one out if you like cat games. It's for sure going to be a lot of fun. Before continuing with this video, make sure if you're enjoying this video, give this video a like. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot. Thank you so much. Let's continue with the video. Now moving away from cats, I have another demo for you guys. This one is gaining a lot of buzz and will be coming to Kickstarter in the near future. This is Silver Coin Age of Monster Hunters. The game has 3 different game modes: solo, cooperative, and competitive, for 1 to 5 players. This is a monster slaying game. The game is divided up into 6 big kingdoms, each carrying out its own history, culture, and mysteries. You are playing as a monster hunter. You are traveling from land to land in search of missions that will grant you rewards in the form of silver coins. You will need to learn magic, and you will need to kill monsters and equip yourself with items and skills on your journey. Players must be resourceful, strong, and choose the correct path. They may either take a quick and easy one or a long and difficult one. Just make sure by the end of the game you have the biggest bag of silver. If you're looking for a new monster slaying game, I highly recommend you check this one out. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget to sign up for it for when it launches on Kickstarter. Alright, moving on, we have Mortum Medieval Detective. This is a deduction and adventure game that takes place in a grim world shaped in the image of medieval Europe, for 1 to 6 players with a high playtime of 120 to 180 minutes. In this game, players take on the roles of a secret organization agent and investigate mysterious and thrilling events. You will need to solve mysteries and encounter fascinating characters in the course of 3 exciting scenarios, all part of a single storyline. Only you and the choices you make decide how the events will unfold in the end. So tread carefully. This one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play, and if you like detective games, then I'm sure you're going to really enjoy this one. Moving on to Tindaya, no clue if I pronounced that right. This is going to be another demo I highly recommend checking out. This is a highly theme-driven survival adventure game that allows for different play modes, such as solo, cooperative, and competitive, and it even has a trader mode. Inside this mythical world that is ruled by 2 gods. If the natives are unable or unwilling to provide goods to the gods, their rage will be unleashed. At the end of each round, the gods will send mythical monsters, plagues, storms, or even earthquakes that will hit their islands. The disasters will reshape the land, merging islands or making them disappear, forcing players to adjust to the new game world. By the end of the game, players will check their collective missions, and if they are achieved, the gods will be happy and all natives will win the game. This game sounds like it's going to be a really intense cooperative game, so if it sounds interesting to you, make sure to go check this one out too. The Siege of Runedar. This is a co-op deck building tower defense game for 1 to 4 players. Players are defending the wall of Runedar and the treasures that are kept inside. Players will face off against orcs, golems, trolls, and fight in hand-to-hand combat against those who emerge past the wall, and shoot those from a distance who are trying to enter. The deck building in the game will help players upgrade their weapons and tools as they try to hold off the raiders long enough to build a tunnel and escape the terrible siege. It's deck building, it's tower defense, it's definitely my type of game. Now moving on to Bitoku. Now this is another spirit forest game with the goal of elevating themselves to become the next great spirit of the forest. This is a hand management, engine building game with multiple paths to victory. Players must play the right cards at the right time in order to obtain the maximum benefit and abilities from those cards. Furthermore, each player also has 3 guardians in the game that are in the form of dice that they can send to large regions of the forest on the main game board in order to obtain all kinds of new options that can be played during the game. There is truly a wide range of actions to be carried out during the game. If a player who can embark on this journey and help the lost souls in search of redemption will be the player that can transcend and become the new great spirit of the forest. This game actually looks incredible. If you're into engine building games, I'm sure you guys would love this one too. Now moving on to the last game on the list, which is actually my number 2. If you guys skipped to this point in the video, make sure to go check out my number 1, which was actually the first game I mentioned on this list. Now my number 2 pick is Messina 1347. Now the reason why this is my number 2 pick is not only because it's a great game, but because a percentage of the profits that is made off this game is going to Doctors Without Borders, which I think is incredible, and I love when companies do this with board games. Now that really goes with the theme of this game, because in this game you are fighting against a plague, aka the Black Death. In this game, players are trying to leave the town and move to the countryside out of the fear of the infected people. While doing this, they are trying to focus on saving other inhabitants and help fight against the plague that is infected by the town. Now, the box cover may not do this game justice, but trust me, this game is getting a lot of good reviews, so I highly recommend you check it out. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out these 2 videos here. I'm sure you guys enjoy them as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. That didn't happen.